Hello and welcome to ISTV English News, and let's have the top stories on the news today. Election of new representatives needed to frame new ILP bill, opines senior advocate Khaide Mani. And there is no respite in curfew even after 46 hours. People reel under untold hardship. Now the news in detail. Senior advocate Khaide Mani has categorically affirmed that the present unrest over the inner line permit system came about due to the fact that the state government came up with a bill totally different from the one agreed on along with the Joint Committee on ILP Systems, representatives of the government and all political party committee after seeking opinions and suggestions from experts and intellectual circle. In a conversation with the ISTV News, the senior advocate said even though the present government may try to frame a new bill, there is a fear in the government which will result once again in a bill that lacks the wish of the people. So in order to achieve people's desire, all the MLAs had better resign to make way for the president's rule for some time and then have elections so that the people may elect representatives who can bring and implement a new ILP bill. But in electing the representatives, if the electorate once again chooses the same representatives, there will be no change at all, Khaide Mani asserted.
Beziar ki simtang di problem khar legani ba sarkar na yada bayai majdi state government ngamoy hai badagi lemogri basing si yanare hai dana khud ka songna dana jaise ILP ga honorable minister ka tawse gi mangda ai urim ne aduga assembly da hogi ba February thagi assembly da puthora padana pomon onerega hotel amada mi changbada restart tawudo bill se regulation of visitors adagi tenants and migrant workers bill haidana puthoya pomon onabada puthore wonderful government sina ninthi jana bill se Miyamgi apam bagi yengerga miyamgi mihul yengerga indigenous people singse yalhumi singse soidana maki coming bawa kanse dairabadi adum pass over yagna central government yagera yaroira government asina magi will power magi political will lamagaloina maji tawtaba yadi hairabadi thabakse pangthokpangamya.
There has been no respite so far in the 46-hour-old indefinite curfew imposed all over Imphal East and West districts by the district administrations from 4 p.m. of July 8 in the aftermath of the death of Sapam Robin Hood, a class 11 student of Ananda Singh Higher Secondary Academy, in police action during the ILPS agitation. It may be mentioned that the district authorities imposed curfew in both the districts a few hours after the death of the boy. Normal life in both districts has been completely turned upside down due to the curfew till now. It has created a great deal of problems for the public, such as shortage of food and complete standstill in all daily activities. On the other hand, people are staging protest demonstrations at different places day and night demanding implementation of ILPS in the state in defiance of curfew. Maira Paibi groups took out torch marches at different places last night shouting slogans like implement ILPS and withdraw the bill passed in the assembly recently. Security measures have been tightened by the police department. Teams of police personnel have been deployed at different places to control the unrest. Besides, police are engaging in dispersing sit-in protests held in defiance of curfew at different places. People's demand for implementation of ILPS has been continuing since the early part of 1980s, and the tragic incidents happening around these days indicate that government doesn't take the issue seriously. This was asserted by social scientist Dhanabir Lashram in a conversation with the ISTV News today. He opined that the government should make policy after thorough knowledge of what the people desire. But today, as things turn out to be, such unwanted incidents are happening day by day. People's faith in the government is degrading, he pointed out.
Praja confidence Prajaga Lengapuka Pong the Badona Livasina, Ayamatam the Piggy Chow Chow Watos and Toli, Amasu Masigi invite to Haita Iranians. I don't know, Karitoni, Kadoni, I see Yampuzana coming about Sumi, the Maruina, Miana Pam, see, Udotoba, Adulena Nova, Bilamusemba, Adu Yelomi, Satam Napa, Yelomi Satam Napa, Bejiama, Tambay, 1950 dagi na high see what is Hanaga, Magi technically, we problem level Asamisu, Man Higlip, Miam Lepudu, Togonate, Miam Pamba, Bill Putopatai.
As part of the first HBS Manipuri Short Film Fiction Festival, organized jointly by Cine Directors Guild and ISTV Network to be held on July 26, all the 63 films participating in the festival are being telecast on 3 different channels of ISTV Network presently. The films are being telecast along with the respective directors' interviews. 2 short films, director Lukanan Ketrimayums, Nawa Ikoibu and director Birendra Salam's Ma Lehenganu will be telecast on ISTV Sangai at 6 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. today. The same films will be telecast on ISTV Plus at 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. today. There will be repeat telecast at 10:30 a.m. on ISTV Sangai at 11 a.m. on ISTV Plus and at 8 a.m. on ISTV2 the next day. In considering the people's demand and choice, the organizing committee unanimously decided to telecast all the films submitted to the festival committee on the 3 channels of ISTV.
I'm ready.
Teloro.
Editor ka late.
Some say huzik pudi perfectly straight ado kankhar kandadi freezy.
Relax. Perfectly straight. Aina semi anoba sunsil perfectly straight with straight lock technology maramdi. Some kankraba matung daso align straight oina laina bagidamo.
Wow, huzik su straight oirina.
Straight and gorgeous. Sunsilk perfect straight lock tobu rock tobu.
Micro Spices Processing Unit based on solar energy under the sponsorship of ADC Rural Investment of NABARD was inaugurated today at Balongdai village in Nungba block in Tamenglong district. DC Tamenglong district M. Luikam, General Manager of NABARD Manipur Regional Office AC Srivastava, Assistant Professor of COW NG Joykumar and many others participated in the inaugural function. Speakers at the function affirmed that opening such micro-processing unit will immensely benefit the people of the area. Now the national and international news. After the successful culmination of the BRICS meeting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the multilateral meeting of BRICS and Eurasian Economic Union leaders last evening. Addressing the gathering, Mr. Modi said that Eurasia is filled with great energy and dynamism and it could regain its role as a leading economic corridor and trade route of the world. He emphasized the need to strengthen the physical and digital connectivity in the region. The Prime Minister also gave a call to revive all spiritual and cultural links that connected this vast area. The Prime Minister called upon leaders to combat terrorism and other transnational crimes like drug trafficking and money laundering unitedly. The External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Vikas Swarup termed it as a meeting of regional integration with multilateral outreach. The Prime Minister held bilateral meetings with presidents of Brazil and South Africa yesterday evening and discussed a series of bilateral issues at length. Secretary External Affairs Ministry Navte Sarnath described these bilateral meetings as very cordial and fruitful. The US has welcomed a meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Pakistani counterpart Nawaz Sharif in Russia today, saying the tension between the 2 South Asian neighbors is not in anyone's interest. We welcome the upcoming meeting between Indian and Pakistani leaders. They are on the sidelines of this conference. State Department spokesperson John Kirby told reporters today at his Delhi news conference when asked about the meeting between the 2 leaders in UFA. Mr. Modi and Mr. Sharif today held a bilateral meeting in UFA on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit and likely discussed the status of the bilateral ties and the future direction. At least 22 people have been killed in a stampede during a clothes giveaway in Mymensingh city in northern Bangladesh, police say. Hundreds of people rushed through a small gate into a factory compound before dawn to get the free garments, causing a crush. Police have detained 7 people, including the owner of the factory. During the month of Ramadan, wealthy Bangladesh often donate clothing to the poor. Police told news agency that 1,500 people had gathered outside the chewing tobacco factory at about 4:45 local time after the owners announced they would distribute free clothing. The stampede erupted when people tried to force their way in. Television pictures showed scenes of devastation with hundreds of blood-spattered sandals lying at the factory gate. Most of the dead are poor and emaciated women, Mymensingh Police Chief Monil Haq. Police said they expected the death toll to rise. In what could be termed as one of the fiercest encounters in Wimbledon, world number 1 Serena Williams beat her Russian rival Maria Sharapova 6-2, 6-4 in the semi-finals yesterday. She will now face little-known Garbiñe Muguruza of Spain, the number 20 seed, in the final tomorrow. Muguruza became the first Spanish woman in 19 years to reach the Wimbledon final with a roller coaster 6-2, 3-6, 6-3 win over Poland's Agnieszka Radwanska. And now, before we wind up the top stories once again. Election of new representatives needed to frame new ILP bill, opines its senior advocate Kaide Mani. And there is no respite in curfew even after 46 hours. People reel under untold hardship. That's all for now, and keep watching ISTV News Update.